Okay, so D4 realistically, and how have you found the season in terms of trying to get back to Diamond? Has it been easier or more difficult?
I think it is about the same.
Okay.
Earlier in the season, I hadn't played ranked for like a few months, so when I came back, I actually lost like 15 games in a row.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I feel that.
it's gotten better.
Okay.
Win rate is looking okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. The reason I asked that is just because the distribution from Platinum to Diamond to Master Tier was the season reshifted back into sort of Season 8. So there's a lot less people in Diamond this season than there was in Season 9. So they've made that sort of pool a bit smaller again. So a lot of people who did not sort of really get Diamond in a perfect sense, you know, legitimately, let's just say, I've found it much harder to get back. So that's why I wanted to ask you before I explained it. So you could at least, if you said you found it the same, then I feel like your head and abilities in the space that you deserve to be there, you know? So it's a case of just refining the gameplay to sort of get you to do
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So in this case, your clear pattern, pretty standard. You like to start Raptors and go down? Wait, no, you didn't. You got a leash. You got a leash. You got a leash.
Yeah, I got a leash.
And then you like to do full clear, right?
Yeah, it's because so the reason why I don't do Raptors first is because I think I waste some time like making the trip from Raptors to Krugs and then back to from Krugs to like the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
So I try to get the leash bot side red.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's the whole fundamental thing that Gurren rank 1 at US, when he was explaining his farming strategy, I put it in the video a few months ago. Like, you start Raptors, the reason you don't go red afterwards is for exactly what you said. So if you go like Raptors, Krugs, red, then you can sequence straight up and you get this really nice sort of cascading reset.
Yeah.
But if you start red, then you get the same sort of effect, right? Just a little slower.
Yeah, if
so.
yeah.
And then, of course, we can look. Do you look to gank early often, or do you just sort of?
I think after I sequence, I definitely do look to gank if it looks good. Against like Jackson Singed, it looks like. So what's going on through my mind is that Jax dies to Graves gank.
Yes, he does.
So then the lane is pushed, and Graves is still top because I just saw him. And we definitely don't win the 2v2. So I kind of just leave it alone. But instead, I will try to look for mid. Because I think Silas has some decent CC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. Also, I would try to look for the crab because that's what I'm supposed to do.
We are crab hunters, ladies and gentlemen. That has been our job since mid-season 2018. Thank you, Riot, for making us crab hunters. So, I mean, I see you're pinging it, but I think there's just a little, maybe kind of trick 2G cheese running through your mind. I'm not sure that it's in the Graves' best interest to stick around this long, because you shoved him off for the blue, right? Like, he just did the classical Graves thing, where you know, I'm gonna do red, I'm gonna do Krugs, I'm gonna look for the cheese gank, I'll invade his blue, get level 3, and if he comes, I just beat him up, and if he doesn't, I take his Gromp. Then you can dive top again, you get crab. Obviously, Graves loves to do this. So in your case, you shoved him off. I feel like you're being a little too cautious, just because there's no ways, if he didn't show up again on your blue, there's no way he sticks around, right?
Okay, that is a fair point.
Yeah. He's only level 2, so because you got shoved off of the blue and the Grump, because you were very efficient, he's almost screwed his own strategy by ganking, but you know, he gets the kill, so it's for him it's worth. Obviously we didn't see, he took good pathing, so he shadowed mid, went to his blue side. And he's actually pinging you now. Let's see, they don't have any vision, so. In this case, you're straight winning right now, but I don't think you have to worry too much about the Graves. I agree, top lane is a difficult gank with Singed. Like, yeah, I think you're being way too cautious here.
Okay, sure.
It's good to be safe.
I think I generally play quite safe.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm the same. I don't like to take too many risks. We all have crabs. Yeah, it's totally it, Barney. So, what I liked is that you were quite safe about sort of the idea of the Graves. However, you also have to factor in, during the time that you rotated from wolves into your blue and you pushed them off, there's no ways all he did was Raptor's crab. So, and if he doesn't show anywhere else, he must be bottom side, just by extension of the logic. And because he did red into Krugs and you saw him level 2 top, that means if he does anything else, like if he only does blue, he's level 3. And in that case, it's exactly what happens. So he's essentially done a delayed buff edge camp for level 3, and you've done a full clear. So the read and everything you're doing is very, very good. And of course, we saw what you were doing. You're going to go steal his Raptors. Nice probing. And we're in prime position for the counter gank, so this is very good. And there you go, easy. 90% slow, love that buff so much. Okay. Do we need to flash? In the face of a double kill, worthy trade.
Yeah, I was I think I was trying to flash to block the Graves auto.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely not needed.
So in this case, let's see, right? This is where I feel like you're really good beginning. So obviously we had a silver 1 Kayn earlier. You had the platinum 1. And there was an issue with kiting and maintaining high HP while clearing. You've sort of shown, okay, look, if we kite a bit more, we weave in those autos at distance and we use our talisman, we can be full HP all the time. In this case, that HP resource for me is absolutely huge. I'm doing a video for tomorrow that talks a lot about how we sort of predict where farming junglers are going to go in terms of their pathing. In this case, they know. Do they know? I mean, it's logical that you probably go up to get this crab. So the Graves is going to feel, okay, I need to get the other one, right? If he does that, he's going to be bottom side, right?
Yeah, okay.
Because he did red into Krugs, currently at 409, there should be tier 4 Krugs for you.
Okay.
So you could absolutely decimate this guy right now.
Okay, I see.
Absolutely decimate him. This crab will be there for you. You could take this and this and this. Your Crump would be up. Your Wolves would be up again. And you'd just reset level 6 already.
Okay.
And
I see.
That guy would be... This guy would be just crying. Because if he goes down here, right? Is he willing to risk invading when... the bot lane is a Blitzcrank Jhin, and the Kayn might have recalled, So I feel like here in this case, you should immediately be thinking, can I counter jungle his first reset camp? Because all his camps right now are tier 1. So he's going to be thinking, okay, I'm going to get these tier 1s down, so I can get the resets, and I will have reset on Krug. So you can go, no. I don't allow. You can just literally take Raptors and Krugs. I think Raptors, Krugs, and Scuttle's pretty good. Because if you do that... let's watch the Graves here. From your perspective. So he shows bottom lane after doing his camps, right? So let's see. Right, he gets the kill there. That's unfortunate. That's going to happen. So in this case, at the very least, he would have nothing on the top side now. At all.
Okay, yeah.
You'd have nothing on the top side. And you would be in the area for this. But I don't think... I mean, you could chunk him and get orbs, but I don't think you kill him. But at the very least, you get something from fighting the Sims, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Some junglers I've seen would stay out and do their Grump and Wolves and totally reset. But then I feel like you risk losing your camps if he sticks around.
Sure. Yeah.
So this was really good. I think you could have taken his whole jungle plus the crab reset. I think
I would have been close to level 6 at least.
I think you would be... Yeah, you'd be very close.
Level
you get
6,
it.
yeah.
You get it on this 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
You get it on both of these, either one. But these are for you, of course. Also level, that's level 4, and these should be level 4 as well. So
yeah,
you got tier 2 Krugs and Raptors, which is why I think taking tier 1 his Raptors, leave a baby up. I think I'd leave a baby up.
I think it's pretty hard to at least
It's hard with Kayn. Yeah, it's really tough.
Hard with Kayn.
If you can, but yeah, it's tough with Kayn's the one champion. You're like, okay, leave a baby. No, I can't do that. But the reason you could leave a baby one, if possible, just because you could take this whole camp yourself And now this would be tier 1, so you'd have to physically reset this. He wouldn't get the benefit of this spawning again at like level 5 or 6.
Yeah.
You take this, you go back to base. You don't really need these as much, and you get AoE camps for the second tier experience, and you absolutely huge. Because now, like, he gets the crab, right? We're watching, he gets the crab, and he goes mid, and this is where the detachment in Kayn from the rest of everything can come in, is that while you and I are talking now about the beauty of camp sequencing and maximizing experience, he's off ganking and making your laners behind. So it's just something we sort of have to keep in mind here. Does he get anything here? Silas should be okay. You should be coming in for the counter gank. Yep. Now, in the scenario where you took his jungle, you'd be 6.
Yeah.
From the minion soak.
Also, if I took his jungle, I don't think like anything would be up for him right now. So he would have he would actually just have nothing to do.
Exactly. Idle hands.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And he could risk invading, but I mean, you've got decent vision control here. You'd see it. And if he does that, if he does go to your Gromp and Wolves, you get this level 6, and you can just gank Ashe. Like, she's level 4. And she's level 4. So this is a double kill. And then you get Dragon. So I mean, in this case, you take his spike. He's got nothing to do, so he might feel compelled to, maybe gank top lane, maybe counter jungle you. But you'd have all bottom side control. And then, if he does that, you probably have, this is very similar to the game I'm doing tomorrow in the video. You'd have this bottom side control as well. Yeah, you'd have total control. It's interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's on your mind though?
So
what do you want to accomplish right now?
Yeah, so I think right now I'm just trying to camp sequence. Jin dies, I believe, here. And then
He's
me
close.
and Blitzcrank tried to okay, it was close. But I think me and Blitzcrank tried to do make something happen because Ashe is very low.
Yeah,
so I get a kill here. Yeah. Okay.
And now
and then I see that my red is coming up soon, so I think I try to go there. I accidentally autoed that. Actually, wait. Okay, no, I actually.
Well, do you want to do it or not? That's the question. So.
So like, I know that Graves is top side and Ashe is just dead. So, I guess yeah. I think doing this is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, actually. Oh, I remember this now. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this was I think this was okay, at least for me. Because our team is poised to I guess respond.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was okay.
Okay, so
I think Silas's death there was kind of unfortunate, but
you focused on the dragon instead. I mean, I think you probably could have pulled off and killed them yourself. But now what are these? Oh, you haven't even. Why did that say level 1?
Huh?
Oh, the baby. No,
Krugs?
I just loaded. So I clicked on them to see their level.
Oh, okay.
And the medium Krugs and the baby Krugs only say level 1 no matter what. So.
Oh, okay.
In game, make sure you press the big one.
Yes.
If you want to see the level. See if you see. Okay, so we want this now. Okay. Like so far, this is very good, obviously.
Yeah. So, I think where I struggle a lot is this is like one of the 2 questions I want to ask you. Like during the mid game, I think like my early game is like pretty good, but then my mid game kind of just dies, and I'm not sure why. What am I doing wrong?
Okay.
So I think this was a good game to show.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we shored up a little bit of weakness in terms of just thinking about the counter jungling. It's the same thing in the King game earlier. Sometimes in the Rengar game, the Diamond game we just had, I was sort of getting on. Obviously, the person didn't join the call, but I was getting on the person for sort of, like the both lanes went back, and the Rengar's sitting here with Bird roaming, so 2v1, and the Lee Sin's on the Wolves, and you're in a 2v1 with about 25 seconds. Your Rengar, that's 100% at blue buff gone, potentially also the Gromp. But the person's kind of just backed out. And it's the same thing here with you. You know, the possibility of stifling him so much with that counter jungling before you do crab, then resetting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the next step in your early game, right? Of just denying the enemy jungler such that you can actually... Because currently you're 2 levels up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this could have been... Like, he's almost level 7. In theory, he'd be down closer to 6 than to 7 with that early counter jungling.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Good point.
Okay, make sure we wait on the edge of the step. Efficiency. So the Graves, because of your actions as well, you're forcing the Graves into doing the only thing he can do, which is gank. Ah, unfortunate. He missed the chains. So here you rotate immediately to this. You know, that's fine. Shove, be very careful, shove and get out, I think. There you go. Ah, you got grounded. Oh no, Blitz! Oh no!
Oh yes, this was a little bit of an oopsies. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is that the Blitzcrank was my duo.
Is it a brother or someone?
Sorry?
Is it your brother?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, then you can go to his room and just smack him in the face. Just give him a good old slap. So, the fact that you're forcing the Graves into being a little bit desperate, because he cannot outfarm you, however, he still has 8 CS more than he should, at the very least. So let's imagine you have 68 and he has, you know, like 45. If he doesn't clear things properly, 44.
Sure, yeah.
You're forcing him into these actions. So the reactive ganking is very important, that you actually help your lane, because of course you got him fed early.
Yeah.
Now the thing for me is, yeah, we're gonna shove, but you should recognize 100% that the Jhin is... So, you don't need your Q here. I know why you queued. Chat, why did he queue? He wanted the cannon minion. But that Q, that Q, right, kills you. Because if you see the Singe coming down, which we do see the Singe coming down, right? And you have that Q up, right? Now you could Q, as he's about to spew all over you, kick W, you can just Q away. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Or at least to the side, and then you can E into the wall. You can Q the side and then E into the wall, and you can get out. But yeah, I think you were fine. I don't think you needed to flash. I think you could have just E'd. If you Q one more time and begin E'ing, you don't need to flash, because you can E, you know, out of the wall, obviously.
Yeah, okay. That's a good point.
Yeah, like just it's a quick Kayn escape mechanics saves you your flash, which is huge.
Yeah.
And then now you could use your flash to live. But yeah, that's just a really bad hook. That's just a really bad hook. And it baits the Jax into making the play as well, and then Yasuo has the key things, and there you go.
Yeah, okay.
Power spike achieved. Power spike achieved.
Yasuo gets a triple kill here. Quite unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that he was the main issue this game. Later on,
I wouldn't either, because you can deal with him as Ross, because as soon as he goes in, you have W, so that's absolutely huge. For me, it's more about the for me, it was more about the stifling of the grave should have been a lot more suffocating.
Yes.
Early. That's a small thing, right? That's just recognition. Okay, if I go top crab and he knows I'm going top crab, and he only did blue side, he's most likely going to go for the bottom crab. And as soon as he ganks bottom lane, you get vindication of that decision. So here,
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, were you gonna say? Oh, I was just gonna say like even though it's like a very small thing, like I'm pretty like it's like a small thing, but also like quite a big thing at the same time, because at this point, I think I would have been able to snowball the game a lot more, because the Graves just is very weak compared to me. I would have definitely had an item advantage over him, and yeah, like all those reactive ganking, like counter ganks would have been a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
Because I had more items and he has less.
Yeah. More importantly, you'd have more experience, and I think when itemization, when back timings are much more frequent in the early game, and gold resets are again more frequent, you can often find yourself in these close fights where you have similar gold, even if you have maybe 1,000 more gold. You shouldn't, but you can, especially with reactive ganking. And as such, the experience lead is actually absolutely insane. That's why experience levels out so much of the mid to late game in terms of your lead. Like what is a 2-level lead becomes a 1-level lead just because the experience bar expands so much at 12, 13, 14, etc.
Yeah.
In this case for me, you're pathing topside because I assume you want to do your blue, you want to do your Gromp and your Wolves, you want to get on the Herald. Your red side you took care of before this, like let's assume you don't die here because you were gonna do this anyway, and then you had to react to the gank. You had to sort of 90-degree turn to go mid lane, and that's fine. Unfortunately, we don't have form yet though, such is the way life is sometimes. Now, as soon as Graves shows here, I am on Herald. I'm on Herald.
Okay.
Like this will be here, right? But Herald and 5 plates versus 3 plates. So this is pretty close to being dead as well. And Silas is still, look at the damage, like he's stuck out. So Silas is looking pretty strong as well at the moment because he had a full gold reset. Yep. Yasuo hasn't reset whatsoever. And you'll notice, obviously we don't see this in game, right? But you'll notice that his Krugs are up. So at the very least, and this is again in the video tomorrow, you can go probing. You can do the Herald and your Kayn. So you just can Eon over, see what camps are up and get the timers. And that's sort of your mid-game tracking. I think that's something that can be very, very useful in the mid-game. Just understanding what camps are up, what camps are not up, because imagine you don't see this guy, right? Imagine this fucking wall's back on, and he hasn't yet shown, and you now go probing, and you see the Krugs just spawn, and you see the Raptors just spawn, well, you get that fresh take. That's nice. But at the same time, because you know he's not there, there's only one other place he can be. Bottom side, now we can ping our ADC. That's obviously hypothetical, right? But it's the concept of tracking by implication. So as soon as I see the Graves show bottom lane, typical plat ADC doing that thing. There you go. Well done, thank you. ADC on ADC crime. We are on the blue. If you do Gromp, I'm gonna be sad. Okay, we don't. So this whole fight gets forced out for no reason. And this should be dead already. So if this is dead already, right? In theory, if we go straight there as soon as we see the Graves, maybe we can actually use the mid lane. Right?
Okay.
Because look, so say you're on it right now. Let's give you a bit of time. You finish it, okay, and you see this skirmish happening. Now immediately you cannot control your team whatsoever, right? But you could at least decompress the situation with a Herald play mid, get 3 plates, and kill this tower yourself and a cannon wave. And from there, to get out, because you're Kayn, you can E through and take his whole topside camp as well.
Okay.
So you can't control your teammates inting here, and you can't control the Jhin over pushing, you can't control them feeding the Graves after you kind of stifled them, but at the same time, because we didn't stifle him enough, he's only, 2 CS beneath you at this point.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. So I feel like the time wasted on the Wolves and the blue delays the fact that you could have made a good reactive play. Because now your reactive play is, everyone's fighting, everyone's dead, I do Herald. Instead of, as soon as I saw Graves, I took Herald, so now I can actually get these plates myself.
Okay.
Like just to force them away, because the dragon's going to be up. So you're doing the Herald a little too close to the dragon spawn. And obviously that's me speaking before we have observed what actually happens, so. Because Herald's absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Twitch, okay, here we go, nice. Dead. See, here again. His Krugs are up, so you should have... Okay, we're going for this. Okay. There's no wave. They reset. I would stick around. Good. But it's Graves.
Yes.
So Twitch chat is asking why specifically you went Graves, ladies and gentlemen. Why you went Ross instead of Shadow Assassin? What was your justification, Champ Select?
So I think that for Shadow Assassin, I think it is hard countered by shields. And Sona has a shield, Yasuo has a shield, and honestly, I think that I perform much better at Frost. With Shadow Assassin, there is less room for error, and by this point, I don't think I am ahead enough such that I am comfortable. Or at least I also took Conqueror, so that deletes the possibility of me going Shadow Assassin. But
I mean, you could, but it's not really ideal,
yeah,
is it?
yeah, it's not ideal. I tried playing Shadow Assassin with Conquer, and it was awful. I did not want to do that again. But
yeah. So
yeah, that was my justification. Yeah.
I would also go Rust just because of the Yasuo, just in terms of CC, is absolutely huge. I feel like Rust, you can actually handle you can one-shot the Graves anyway, but with Rust, you can deal with him even if you're a bit behind. And yeah, you can obliterate the bottom lane, which is nice, but I think this game, I don't even, obviously more elevated Kayn one-tricks will maybe have different decisions. I'll just say, hey, go Shadow Assassin, obliterate everyone, but I do also perform better on Rust. I prefer the disruption it provides me. So
Yes, I agree.
your decision to use the Herald here without a wave costs you the tower, gets you chunked and shoved, which means you lose your Grump to the Graves, who gets his full jungle, and Yasuo takes your Raptors. So in terms of mid-game power, right, we're 12 to 15. We're sort of entering that mid-game right now.
Yep.
I would look very carefully at your VODs and look at your Herald usage.
Okay.
I would at what time do I use my Herald? And what happens afterwards? So obviously that's something you can do. You can go to the last 20 games and just quickly go to the point where you used the first Herald. How many plates were up? What other lane pressures were there? Did I take Herald as soon as I could have? Because if you take in Herald before your camps and use it on the mid lane, you know, you destroy this, or at least get 2 plates and force them to react up, which delays their back timings. And then you can Eon overtake all his camps, and the other Graves would reset here, but you'd be level 10, and you could just recall. You know, you could just go into the bush and recall. And from there, because you would force them to actually have to deal with this Herald and the shove after your team inted, you could reset, forgo your top side camps, and head on over to the dragon.
Okay.
You see? So I feel like, and yes, someone asked in the chat, outer objectives like dragon, herald, and towers are more important than your own camps. In general, yeah. Yeah, because by focusing his own camps before the herald, it changed the nature of his mid-game approach, which is his issue. You see? You know, if they don't react to you, you get the tower, right? Because it's 3 plates. If you don't react to you, it was a cannon wave. You get the cannon minion, you get the plates, at least 2. You should be able to finish it off. If you can't anyway, it doesn't matter. You get all his topside camps. I mean, how much gold is that? That's obscene. That's an obscene amount of gold for you. And you would still be able to kill the Singed. You'd still be in the area, right? For this kill. And now we'll say, right, the only thing left on the top side is blue camps. So I can either clear them up and go back to base, or because Dragon's already up, and I know Graves is going to be holding this tower, I can reset and go straight down here.
Okay.
So for me, that would be the big sort of, that one catalyst, because instead you got chased down so much, right? You got chunked, so you had to leave. And that's the worst thing in the world. The worst thing in the world is when you literally got 2 camps. Yeah, you got a kill on a Herald and 2 plates, but you didn't really maximize your time in the field, did you?
Yeah, no, I did not.
And because of that, this guy just goes and takes your Gromp. He's done nothing but sort of overly gank. He takes your Raptors because now he has a huge lead from, unfortunately, your Blitzcrank's hook. But look at the CS now. He's up 2 camps. He's up 2 camps. So despite all your best efforts, that little bit level 3, level 4 that you could have used to sort of gain a nice lead that would stifle him a bit longer, he's actually ahead of you.
Yeah.
But this is good hold. This is a good hold. We get them all? Yeah, it's easy now. Now you're like, oh, great. Everything's gone. Red's up. And Graves knows, because he chased you off and got this, and saw you hold mid, that he can simply shadow on down to the bottom side and be ready to deal with the dragon fight. Because his bottom lane is actually doing very well. But otherwise, you did the best you could in that situation. Like, after you know, your Raptors are dead, your Grump's dead, it is what it is, right? Okay, Crab's gonna be up, so we should be... Like, I mean, you're a little bit defensive here. Again, I think this is the same thing as level 1. You don't realize your lead. You have 5,900 gold, but despite all of that, he still has a 500 gold lead on you. However, he hasn't spent 1,300, so he effectively only has 5,100 gold spent, whereas you have 5,300 gold spent. So you have more gold spent. So you actually have the lead.
Okay.
You don't know that in game, obviously, but you
Yeah.
can sort of you can look at that itemization, right?
Yeah.
But it's more telling you the objective number so that you can understand how you felt in this moment wasn't necessarily justified.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you were both here ready to set a trap, you know, you were being too safe. You went from Krugs up here. You don't want to fight, and I think that could be an issue if we look at your stats. You know, like go look at your stats in the client, see how much damage do you output relative to other Kayns in the same MMR. If it's very low, it's because of these moments. You know, because Kayn was here and you have the vision. They don't have any. If Blitz hooks into a Kayn W and you get your Q off, you get your ult off, you can probably kill him. And if you can kill him, free dragon.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah?
Makes sense.
Yeah. Don't be too hesitant to get involved.
Okay.
There we go. So the same thing. So Graves felt bad for this. He said, no. You know what, Kayn? You should have killed me. Let me int you. Come, let me int you.
That was a question mark for sure.
Graves was like, nah, this is, I shouldn't be given free. Come, kill me. This is not right. This is like when a dad plays another guy. This is like when your dad plays your son at chess. He's like, you know what? You should have taken me. Here's my piece. Here's my piece, son. This is what should have happened. That's what the Graves is thinking right now. So, right, so you get given an absolute freebie.
Yeah.
And again, I'm still disappointed your firm is down 15, but again, that's an extension of a few decisions. And again, that, what do we call the early to mid transition. So your mistakes might not necessarily be mid game; that might be the early to mid transition phase.
Yeah,
That's setting up the mid game, and because you know, it's like in the Silver One Kayn game, he used the platinum. Great, Herald's been upgraded to the platinum. He used the Herald top lane and changed the state of the map, forced the map into a mid game state when no one was ready. Like his support was level 5, and suddenly we're macroing around the map. It's within your control. You know, it's the same thing as you here. Instead of breaking open the game with the mid lane and countering this fight, you know, we tried to use it on the top lane, got shoved off the field, and we just lost. You got shoved in. You know, as I said earlier, the Shadow of Mordor just took over your side, and this is you're screwed. So now we took the dragon. You got the freebie. You're feeling pretty good. Why are we not destroying this bottom lane? They have no flashes. So that's not.
That is true. Yeah. Okay.
You know, take your power while Graves is off the field. What can I do that he's off the field that I couldn't do if he was on it? Nunubuts' tower dive. It's risky. You have the Ash ult, so you need the wave, but at the very least you could clear out this vision, scout for counter jungling camps. The thing's not telling me. He has nothing up, but you don't know that, so you could always scout for that, clear out vision. Place your own control wards deep, and if they back off, then you get a free tower.
Yeah.
And now your bot lane can get out of this hellhole of inting and shift to the mid lane. And your Sylas can take his side lane. Because obviously you don't want... I think you want Sylas in a side lane. And Jax in a side lane. I don't think you want your bot lane in a side lane. Because you can 1-3-1. You can 1-3-1 very well. So, because I'm only telling you this because he's your duo, right?
Yeah. Blitz is my duo.
So, you mean you can just tell bot go mid and Sylas go bot. So, because Sylas... Why does he have Ghost?
Who?
Why does Sylas have Ghost? Is that a thing now?
I don't know.
I don't think so. He should have TP. He should at least have TP. So
yeah.
But I think retreating back into your jungle while his corpse is there, you don't need to stand next to it. He doesn't deserve rights. I feel like you're giving him you're disrespecting his memory by not taking as much as you can. Like he inted you for good reason, you know. He inted you so you could feed your family, and you didn't do it. You just went out for McDonald's by yourself. Like he's saying, go kill my bottom lane, and you're like, nah, I'm good, thanks. So now he's up, and all we did was take Raptors. Hit your chains, hit your... Any Yasuo lovers in chat? Any Yasuo lovers in chat? I don't think so. Oh, that champion. Shove with him, shove with him, shove with him. Break this. You gotta break this. You gotta break this. You're mid game. Okay, so you're asking me your issue with mid game. You have all these tier 1 towers up, but you got Herald, and you got 2 dragons. So you had overall you had river control, right?
Yeah.
Yet we didn't get towers with it. So another stat to look in the client for you. What is your objective ratio in terms of kills? Once you get kills, what's your percentage translated to objectives? I guarantee you it's probably quite low. So that's something to consider as well. But I feel like, Graves is dead. Let me go to his jungle. Yeah, let me take all of this stuff. Let's shove bottom lane. We can, they have no flashes. Sona didn't have ult. It was very close. So if you have your duo and Sona and your enemy support has an ult like the Sona, tell your Blitzcrank, ping her ult, please. And track it. So you would have known, hey, I did the dragon, her ult is up in 15 seconds, let's go. Yeah, Ashe's ult is up, but you're Rost. I mean, she stuns you, you press W, Q, you press R, you're fine. Or like if you damage her and have good reactions, you just R her before the ult hits you. For the respect points.
Yeah.
But I feel like in this case, Graves made the big mistake, a Graves mistake. And we didn't punish it.
Yeah.
There you go. So now we're tower diving them but we don't have an ult because we had to go on the Yasuo. And now Graves is saying, well, like the Graves is in his mind, oh, Kayn's got bottom side, Kayn's gonna dive my bottom lane, Kayn has mid lane, I'm gonna go top anyway. So he does what he's meant to do anyway.
Yeah.
But you could have taken everything from him. I feel. Like that one int by him should have been game. In a high elo game, if you int like that, the game's over.
Okay.
Because, no, Silas, that wasn't an invitation. This is all cascading from the Herald play. Which is good, I think. Like, it's good there's an answer, right?
The Graves kind of just runs away with everything.
I know.
By this point.
I remember. Yep, I remember watching. The Graves essentially farms your whole jungle, his jungle, and lanes.
Yeah. So,
I mean, from my perspective, like, what do you do now? I mean, there's nothing to farm. You have to basically try and farm as much as you can. We don't talk a lot about this because obviously in every video there's different fundamentals that people don't sort of adhere to. Your vision scores 7 in 18 minutes. I feel like that's kind of low. And in the case when...
pretty low.
It's pretty low. And in the case when you've got, things like Graves sort of perma running rampant in your jungle now, and we are not scanning to see what they see, I think you're putting yourself in a bad position as well. I know people for some reason flayed me at the volley bear example, but it was the same sort of thing. We just scanned and made sure that Evelyn couldn't see us. We put control wards down to see the barriers, and if for whatever reason their team goes somewhere else and one person detaches, you can collapse and make that pick. And when you do that now, you can hold towers and things like this. But the main thing is you have control of your own jungle. Okay. And I know it sucks when your team tries to take your CS, but the one benefit of Kayn is that you do it so damn quickly. Okay?
Yeah.
Conqueror's activated. One more Q. Should get him. We missed this. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's sad. But let's say that should have been a kill. Did we get him anywhere here? Oh, no. No expectations. No vision control.
Yes.
But what's your rest of your team doing? See, while I'm watching this as well. The rest of your team does the right thing. They all did the low elo thing. Hey, fight on the bottom lane. Let's go. Woo! And your team says, okay, we shove mid. So this is the right decision. But now, for me, there's just been so little time of seeing you in his jungle. Wait, have I seen you in his jungle? At all? No, right?
No. Yeah.
Not one time did you counter jungle him. So that the Zyra example in tomorrow's video, yeah, spoiler alert, will show you a good example of just how to counter jungle in these kind of games, because Graves is annoying in that he's a farming jungler, but he's also a PvP jungler. He can sort of do everything. But yeah, That's something as well. So in counter jungling moments, when he's dead, when you know where he is, you can go get those before your own camps. Don't do your camps first. So you ping, Jim pings Herald. We all want to do Herald, okay? But Herald, unfortunately, Baron is coming up soon, so. Here, this is vital for mid game. We're not really in mid. We're entering the late game phases already. So dragon's spawning, right? And you have 2, right? So you have, currently you have time. They've taken the tower with the disengaging top and they're gonna reset, that's good. So for you, you wanna get to the dragon as soon as possible. Up, use the wall here, you know, chain your wall together, go up this way, get to your grump as fast as you can. Down to your wolves, and now sequence into the dragon area. I mean, you don't, you can also go through this little grave as well. By doing, wait, is that what you did or am I being crazy? No, you didn't, you went back to the raptors, the wolves. So by doing wolves into grump, you wasted time, and so you didn't get the setup around the dragon area that you could have had.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, I want to get to dragon. There's no ways anyone's taken the herald before the baron spawns. So grump down into this area, but at the same time, you could also justify. What camps are up here? I think you took everything, right?
Yeah,
Raptors.
I think actually Graves probably took everything.
Yeah, your raptors are up. He's a kind soul, this guy. Yeah, you could have also justified simply going on down to the raptors and scanning and getting control woods down.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone, that's a bit more sort of, it's less selfish. But at the very least, if you had done that, because your team was taking so long to reset, they've got all the push here. So he's already pre-scanning. Now you could meet him here, right? You've already done wolf, so you could actually be meeting him here. I don't think, you don't want to fight because of them. But, you know, like your red's up as well, you know?
Yeah.
Like your raptors are not up, but your Krugs are up and your red is up. So let's say your concept of sequencing down to dragon in theory is very good. That's what we want to do. I know you were probably thinking about the herald until you saw the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we know our red is up. We know the Krugs are up. And we know that our team is resetting. We know the dragon. It might be best just to go there.
Okay.
Try and get this away from him. Don't give up your jungle freely when you don't have to. Because if they're all going to collapse on the bottom side for the dragon, then there's no reason for you to give up all these camps as well. Because your raptors spawn a little bit later, but I think yeah, you're right. He takes the red and he takes the Krugs. And we don't get set up. Whereas you could have been here now at least contesting this, and you never know. The guy's injured you once. I mean, imagine he tries to fight you here and you pull him out, and then Blitzcrank says, no, I pull you out, and then you just kill him. And it's highly possible, you know? So, yeah, let's revise that. Don't even go top, just straight to your red and Krugs. I actually didn't even look to see your red was up. And you will know your red's up, so.
Yeah. I think at that point, like, I definitely, like, wasn't looking at the dragon timer, when I should have been, so which is why I think normally if I was looking at the dragon timer, I would have path towards the bot side instead of the top side.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, my bad.
Yeah. And this fight is game. That Miss W sucks. In Yasuo's case, try to be a bit more reserved with your W, because if you held your W and then you let Blitzcrank knock him up, because it's easy to do, and now you knock him up again, you just Q through him and he's dead. That's 100% a dead guy. And he dies anyway, right? But actually, you know what? You killed him without the W, right? So sorry, I'm thinking about 3 things at once. So don't use your W. Like, don't try and be the engage on this guy. Don't use your W. Wait until Blitzcrank knocks him up. Now you don't need to knock him up because you don't need your W to kill him, right? I underestimated the combined damage of you two. So now he's dead and you have W up. Oh, hello, Graves. Who's currently silenced and can't E away. Who can get W'd by my W. You see that?
Yeah.
Which means you can then Q him ult him and he dies. So W usage in this situation might have actually been pretty important. Because now you got all the slows. You don't do anything now. Yeah. I think you can still kill Graves. I think you die right afterwards. And I'm not sure your team's up to the task of winning the fight, but... It's more like we shouldn't be in this situation. I know I always say that, but... You should be the guy that's 2 levels on the Graves, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
The Silas is kind of funny, though. The guy gives me the chuckles. So that, yeah. I mean, in terms of the red team, that's sort of... I'm feeling very confident if I'm the red team. I mean, you're equal in goals, you're equal in kills. But they just have such an annoying team fight. And you had such a good 1-3-1. And all 1-3-1s work when you have side laners in position to actually abuse it. But unfortunately, he didn't have TP, he didn't have the lead, and we didn't have the tower takes we should have. Like, yeah, you've got these over time now through minions and stuff like this, but I feel like that one moment at the dragon was so big. Like the Herald top lane and the dragon after taking the dragon. I think those are your 2 crucial. You gotta look in your games to see if there's a common thing. Like, does that happen in all your games? You know what I mean? If that makes sense, if you agree. I mean, if you think there was a different course of action, you can say. I mean, it's for me to know what you're thinking is also important.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions about this final? Jeez, why do people take so long to close? 14 minutes?
Sorry?
Do you have any questions about the final 14 minutes here? Specifically, any moments?
No, I think, yeah, I think late game is like team fighting based, and I think I'm pretty strong at team fighting. But maybe there's that like one little micro mistake that I made at the bottom fight, but I think that should be all.
Yeah, for you it's your W's. Yeah. Just for you it's literally just a bit more patient with your W and use it as, if you have other CC, try and use it as secondary versus specifically Yasuo. Versus other things you can have a better time, but for his dash you don't want to be using it as the main thing, because if there's stuff around that he can E, you know, you're never gonna hit it. It's just a wasted spell.
Yeah. Oh, I guess like one question that I wanted to ask was, so in the case that, so in this game, I was, I guess, more or less even, and I didn't push my advantage. In the case when there's like a level like Graves steals my red buff or something, like invades my jungle level 2 after like taking blue and then takes red without me knowing. How can I get back into the game? Because I usually find it very hard to get back into the game because there aren't camps up, and I'm just behind.
Okay.
Because of that. Yeah, this is like a theoretical question.
Yeah.
Because I currently don't think I have a game that.
So say in this situation, instead of ganking top lane, Graves took your blue and grump and he's already disappeared.
Yes.
In essence, you kind of did that to the Graves, right? Because he sort of treated this like his jungle, had no mana, and you shoved him off. So he had to walk clean across the map to get his blue. And he, of course, had hit his raptors. Sorry, his Krugs. So what did he do to get back in the game? Right? He ganked. And in cases that you have no camps to farm, the worst thing people can do is sometimes look to farm way too much. And I did a video on this, I think, at the beginning of the season. How do we come back from behind? And it's identifying. I'm trying to think of the stream. What stream was it, chat? What was it? What was I was talking about in Discord? Basically, someone said, in this game, I'm behind, and there's no way I can get back into it by farming. Because I've lost too many camps, I've lost way too much experience, he has total control of his jungle, he's counter-jungling me. There's only one thing you can do, and that's making sure you have, one, for you specifically, vision control of your entrances. So like here, you know, normally we would control with the river, right? You know, we'd scan, we're looking here. If you put a control wood here, put a trinket ward in this tri-bush, but tell your bot lane, please control with tri-bush. Watch the entrances, put control woods in these side bushes. And as soon as you see Graves, go for an aggressive move. Like say you were doing this now and you lost your camps, right?
Yeah.
And you had the vision control on the bottom side here. And you see him E over this wall because of it. Immediately, your goal now is, okay, I'm going to your top side.
Okay.
The worst thing you can do is almost like the worst thing you did in this case. You didn't counter jungle him. You get back into the game the way the Graves did. So this case, watch him. Right? He didn't do a full clear. He's behind an experience. You did a full clear. He's done 3 camps. Okay, I gank. Shoved lane. Okay, thank you. Now, he dies. Because he didn't track you. And he didn't respect you. Right? So that's badly executed, but the intent is good. Now, in his mind, pretend you did what I told you. And you did his Raptors and his Krugs. So he's going, well, I lost my camps. Great. Like, you know, I'm behind. What do I do? Wait, you do what he did. You take the camps you do know are up, right? And make sure you go and gank a lane if it's gankable. Now, if it's not gankable, you're not trying hard enough. Because there's lane ganks. If the lane is shoved, scan, get a lane gank in. I've seen Rengars that have lost a whole top side, be level 4 at 6 minutes, and simply walk into this bush. Obviously, Rengar's great for that. And literally just trap a gank. And once they get catch-up experience from one gank, from one wave shove, they're back in the game.
Yeah.
They're back in the game.
Okay.
But he did what, like in his mind, he lost all of this, right? So all he did was clear the camps he knew were up, and where he knew you weren't because you went topside, and instead said thank you for the gank. Now he gets to shove a wave. Don't underestimate this, huh? Like getting back here, even as Kayn, super nice. And this guy's really, you know, he didn't even auto shove the wave. He probably could have left it a bit more, but. And then again, he goes mid lane. He takes a crab. He goes mid lane. More minions soak. He hasn't farmed at all. He's done what? 1, 2, 3, 4 camps, and he's level 5. Boom. He's back in the game.
Okay.
Right? And
Yeah.
the problem is, if he did just as much as that, he shouldn't get this. Like, this should be gone. So in terms of being as behind as you say, I don't think this should be a universe where you are as behind as that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if your tracking and your map reads are good and you react to things immediately, like, hey, Graves is ganking bottom lane, I take Herald, that's huge. You know? And then from there, like imagine if you were super far behind and you figured, hey, you know, I can go do the Herald, because Graves should be bottom side, right? And Graves shows for the gank, immediately you should be thinking, let me quickly get some of this juice on his side, you know? Quickly. Because these camps will be a much higher level than you, and we don't have catch-up experience, but they do have more experience. So I think
Sure.
in the case of the Graves, he did a very good job of ensuring that despite the fact he was down so many camps, he still got off. Gank mid lane, he died, unfortunate. That was you just playing very well. He got a gank off bottom lane, got a kill. He had ganked top lane early, level 2. He cleared the camps that were up, and he also got another gank on mid lane. So his pressure this game negated any camps that you had taken.
Yeah.
And that's why he was able to stay in the game with experience. Here again, like, okay, imagine Kayn has taken all my blue side. Well, guess I gank. And that's what's very important for laners to understand that when a jungler is behind and you have counter jungled the living shit out of him, and all junglers know this, right? We're 2 levels up, we think we're doing a great job, the enemy jungler just ganks 1 time and he's the same level. But really it's that simple. Don't underestimate the power even as Kayn of just getting some ganks in. Like if you're feeling really trapped about it. But I think this Grave did a pretty decent example. And here as well, for me, I think you just ditch the dragon. Ditch the dragon. Because Ashe is here, right? Level 4 Ashe, no sums. Sona, level 4, no flash. For me, this is huge for your form to get it earlier and to make sure the Yasuo never takes off. Because unfortunately he kills the Sylas, but I think, you know, maybe he kills him anyway, but maybe he doesn't because you're tanking the auto attacks. You know? He gives the Sylas some protection. So these little things not only help you stay ahead, They help you get back, and they also help your team stay ahead. So don't be too afraid to fight. Kayn is a lot stronger than I think your sort of pathing allows, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you go to my YouTube channel, you say 5 steps to play from behind, or 5 steps to come back from a bad start. It pretty much sort of outlines this kind of stuff.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it's all logical things. I mean, you take what's given to you, and when something is offered in terms of counter jungling and heralds, we take it. Like that's the most important thing, you know. When you get given a gift from the enemy jungler in terms of positioning, you have to make sure you take it immediately. And even in this game, when you had a lead, you didn't. So I think that can transcend all. That can apply to all your games probably. Yeah. Does that at least give you some sort of context? It's very theoretical,
no,
so I had to sort of come up with situations as we're going, but
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I think this has been extremely informative. Yeah.
that's what we like to do around these parts. If it isn't, then I'm sad.
Yeah.
It's difficult sometimes because I mean, when you go like this is sad. When you go from you know, silver to diamond to platinum to gold in like the space of 5 hours, it's quite. You gotta try and keep things to a certain level, you know.
Yeah.
With platinums and diamonds, you can just wax hysterical about anything, so it makes it a bit easier, but also more difficult because then it's like just information.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in terms of your mid game stuff specifically, it begins here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
Focus on this, and then of course the second dragon, like making sure you sequence this timing. And this gift he gives you, like he gives you quite a few gifts that people, let's say D2 and above, would not waste at all.
Yeah.
They just the Graves would lose the game from them. And it's really, that's the biggest difference. Like if you fix that and fix that sort of hands to the neck kind of approach that you could have on him, then you're looking at D4, and then if you minimize your own mistakes and of course mechanical misplays, you're looking at D3 again, I think.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of good things early, huh? Like we talked about, there's a lot of good things. Obviously, we focus on improvement, but there's a lot of good things as well. So, yeah. Good.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you very much for coming on, and best of luck. Enjoy the Kayn state while it exists.
Yes. I am trying to enjoy it as much as I can before he gets, or before the meta changes again.
Oh, wait, I wouldn't know. I banned him, so there you go.
Okay.
I play, you know, like I'm weird. I play Volibears, I play Orns. I don't see Rust in my game. that's not good for my health.
Okay, yeah, that is fair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was Graves, but I feel like I can deal with Graves as Volley. But I think as Rust, no, don't think I'm gonna be able to.
All right, yeah. I guess have fun with coaching.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for coming on.
Yep.
Let me know how it goes.
Yep.
See ya.
Yep. See ya.